Party's not a party's a man who fights crime, and we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time with John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Greetings, citizens of Gotham, and welcome once again to Bat Minute Returns, the show that grinds its way through Tim Burton's Batman movies. Well, and Joel Schumacher coming up, you know, if you really, really want to stick around for those. 1 minute at a time. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
I am the other host, Niall McGowan. I'm still trying to figure out what you're referring to in the grinding there.
There's a character in the minute.
Oh! Now I get you.
Yes, we are joined today by our very special guest. You may remember her from last time. In the wonderful credits, we have comedian, actor, YouTuber, fencer, should I say that? Jessi Milestone.
Hi guys. Hi. It's so good to be back. I'm very excited to do not credits. And this is a sweet minute. This is a real sweet minute you guys got me hooked up with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
You're actually the first returning guest as well. Like everyone so far, this movie has been newbies. So
wow. Everyone else is like, nah, I'm done. I'm good.
Now that might happen with the next two.
Yeah.
No. If you need me to be your like guest in resident for Batman Forever, you got me.
Hey.
I'm there. I'll do any week where you're like, we don't have a guest and we don't want to do this by ourselves. You got me.
Oh, thank God. Thank God someone is willing to put up with it.
It's like I keep thinking like, we won't need that. That's fine. That's very nice, but we won't need that. And then it'll probably be like week 6. It's like, Jessi, nobody wants to come on for this movie.
Well, today, of course, we're still on the Bat Minute Returns, I was going to call it. Batman Returns. And this is minute 13 of the movie. And the minute starts with the smartest folk in the world, CARNY'S, and it ends with the stupidest man in the world, Gordon.
I don't know so much if it's he's stupid or he's just lazy, but I suppose we'll get to
useless. That. Useless is really how he reads for me in these.
Yeah.
Just utterly useless.
But at the beginning, though, we get Max Shrek delivering, in a classic walk-in fashion, his response to the mayor's saying, "Oh, nice idea." And he goes like, "Not mine." And then this giant present that's appeared erupts with a very strange sound effect with this kind of bong.
Yeah, it makes it kind of fun. Like, are you supposed to be still questioning whether this is entertainment?
I'm not too sure I think like within a split second later, it'd be very apparent that like, nah, this is clearly something's up. Something's rotten in Denmark right now. But
that's like that rug of happiness moment. That like, oh yeah, just get that extra little build up, just so the terror and disappointment is so much more powerful.
Yeah, because I think there's still that glimmer of hope there that this could be something like nice and entertaining and fun.
I mean, the people don't know. The audience thinks this is all part of the game until they start getting murdered.
Yeah. But I did a little bit of research because that sound effect struck me as so like, what is that even supposed to be? Like a giant spring or something? So I did a little look in to see like, again, much like the last movie, these kind of things would have been covered by the Foley artist. And I was like, I wonder if it is the Foley artist from the first movie. As we had 2 of them last time. You might remember Jack Stew and Rocky Phelan. And they are not... They did not come back for this movie. For this movie, we've got a lady called Vanessa Theme Ament who did all the Foley work. Quite notably, I don't know, it might have been she is Tim Burton sort of preferred her work because she worked with him on Beetlejuice, then Edward Scissorhands, and then came back for this, and then she worked with him again on Mars Attacks. So I think like maybe he's just like, I love her work, and I
guess so.
Yeah, but the Vanessa, she started off way back. Her first gig was a movie called Friday the 13th. You might recall that one. And then she went on to work on a few little small independent features, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Poltergeist, Predator.
Holy crap.
Yeah, From Beyond. She did Gremlins 2, the new batch as well. So shout out to the Mogwai Minute guys there for the and she also did all the sound effects for The Secret World of Alex Mack, which I was like, I haven't seen that in years. Because I guess you would have been the one doing all the sort of all the morphine sound effects. Because
nice impression.
Yeah, you familiar with the Alex Mack, Jessi, or like you might have been a few years before your time. Like was that the one where like he would, what was, because I'm remembering something where it was like someone was secretly an alien or something, and they were disguising as I think that's Alan Strange, that one. That was
that was great.
Okay.
Yeah, like Alex Mack was a girl, was like a teenage girl, and it was basically like they kind of crossed like Daredevil with Terminator 2, where she got into like a chemical industrial accident. Yeah, she developed superpowers where she basically could morph into a puddle. And like looking back at it now is very clearly like they just saw Terminator 2 and they're like, that T-1000 effect's amazing. We should base an entire TV show around it. And they did. And yep, that was it.
Good stuff. It's so funny you bring up Friday the 13th though, because I just got back from Crystal Lake.
Really?
Oh, the actual one.
Yeah, the actual one. We went camping there for a couple days. And the lake at this point is ridiculously unimpressive because it is in Southern California. So since Friday the 13th was made, it has shrunk significantly.
Oh.
And it's full of algae bloom. So it looks kind of like a really, really big green puddle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's full of needles or something. So that's a bit better at least.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's like a nice, pretty area. It's still. We went on a beautiful hike around it and up, the mountains around it. But the lake itself, the whole point was we were going to finish the hike at the lake. We were really stoked. Like, we're going to go see it. And then I turn a corner. I'm like, guys, I got good news and bad news. Good news is we found the lake. Bad news is that's the lake.
Oh no, that puddle over in the corner there.
That giant smush of green that if you try to swim in, you will die from algae bloom.
Oh no.
Like imagine like Jason's like, I'm not like killing people anymore. Like I got enough cleanup to do around this lake. I got the time. I gotta go around picking up all the litter,
Right.
to see and improve anything just to make the place look nice for people.
I have to bring people back here so that I can kill them. No one's coming anymore.
Oh, that could be a death in the next one. He throws people into the lake and it just eats them alive.
Yes. And it's like, yeah, that would be great. Just mutant algae.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Make it so. Come on, guys.
This sounds good. Can the plot in the beginning, can like the first opening act of the movie though be about Jason making the area nice again so people will come back so he can kill them?
Yeah.
Because that sounds like a worthy plot.
The guy with his entire motto, there was like a bunch of teens to show up and like are just leaving like soda cans and stuff lying around the place, and he's like, "Damn, that's it! I thought I'd hung up the hockey mask, but no, I'm back. I'm back, baby."
Yep.
Pushes him over the edge. Speaking of things happening again and again and again. Here, of course, flying out of the present, we get some weird circus carny-like folk who are attacking the city. So it's quite reminiscent of the previous movie's weird gang of, well, led by a clown, at least, and mimes and whatnot.
And this one, though, the nice thing about this gang, which we later learned is the Red Triangle gang, of course, is that, like, they came from somewhere. Like, they pointedly, were from seems like they were recruited from a circus at some point, sort of, maybe. Like, they have a history, they exist. Whereas, like, in the last one, where did he just hire and train?
Yeah, practically
all of those
overnight
people?
as well.
I think we did try to, like, I remember the last one, like, well, DJ Priest, the guy who used to carry the boombox for the Joker, there was something about in, like, the novelization, they told you that he was hired from a gym or something. And I was like,
yeah, but like,
very weird.
how do you get all these crooks? I think I said this on the show. How do you get all these crooks on board with your weird clown thing? Like, you know what? I'm going to dress you up in these little jackets I've made. These logos. Just go with it, man. Go with it. These seem like that. This is how they kind of live anyway, and they've just been pushed into crime.
Maybe like the Penguin always heard about the Joker was secretly complaining about the gang, going like, they're not into the motif, they'll wear the jacket, but they're not going to put on the makeup. And so he's just like, I'll go the other way. I'll just get the circus people I've already got. They'll be totally into it.
It works. It works.
Yeah. And then some of them are a bit like overeager because as a guy shoots out the top into the Christmas tree and then just sort of falls down. And it's like, So is he just the rest of the whole carnage? Is he just kind of limping around going, man, I did not see that coming.
I mean, he could just die. Like, that is a thing in these movies, in these Tim Burton Batman movies. People just wantonly die all the time.
Yeah.
So he could just fall out of the tree and be dead, you know?
And I love the idea of a villain, a crook who just wants to be that weird and strange and creepy that he doesn't care if he dies in the process. That's fine. He achieved the effect he was going for.
That's right. That's his legacy.
Exactly. He's immortalized.
Yeah. I can respect that.
One of my favorites comes out now, though. There's a guy on a motorbike with a comically large skull mask on, which I'm assuming is actually like his helmet to protect him. But all I could think of was like, it's like a rib on Ghost Rider or something.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that, actually. Yeah, good. Maybe. For some reason, like with Tim Burton, I can't imagine he would be like, yeah, I'm sticking to these Marvel guys. But do you note, though, when he comes out, what he does?
Oh, yeah, I was upset. I was crying at what he does here.
Yeah, he freaking kicks over the hot dog stand. And it's like, is this some sort of knock at Mayor Borg? They're just like, the Red Triangle gang aren't up to, like, they don't know it's a new mayor. And they're like, the mayor's obsessed with hot dogs. Let's kick over the hot dog stand on the way out. They'll really get his goat. And then, like, afterwards, it's like, was he crying about the hot dogs? He's like, no, this mayor's vegan. He doesn't care. And he's like, man, It's like, I could have tipped my bike trying to kick that thing, but, it was all for nothing.
It was a waste of time.
What an absolute abject waste.
And I'm a vegetarian, and even I'm upset by this. It's awful.
I bought hot dogs to go camping, and the first night I was like, I don't know if I can eat all 6 of these because the 2 people I was with were vegetarians. And then I started cooking hot dogs over an open campfire, and I was like, I can definitely eat all 6 of these.
Yeah. I was going to say, that'll change as soon as you start. I'd be like, oh no, I need to eat them.
I do like, though, the people there already seem to have their hot dogs in hand. So they're like, as the cart goes, they're just kind of like, ooh, thank God this thing's still safe. And then, like, just watching the rest of the riot just like, oh man, it's terrible. Yeah,
got my hot dog, got my view of the riot, A+.
I definitely think kicking the hot dog cart isn't an accident, like in the actual film. I think that's a deliberate choice, like a kind of joke at the last movie, because it even has like funny music over the top. Like the whole vibe of this scene, I thought was kind of like a feel of a Beetlejuice or a Gremlins 2, that kind of a thing.
Very much.
Yeah, it's much more. That's kind of weird to say, like, it's much more chaotic than the Joker, but, like, I guess the Joker, because he had people dancing around and stuff as well, but, like, he didn't have, like, crazy circus music playing over the top of it. He didn't have people in costume. He just had guys just wearing jackets with his face on them. It wasn't as impressive.
No, I was upset by that as well. I always wanted the Joker's gang to be much more stylish.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah. It's maybe they're making up for missed opportunities here. They're like, this is what the Joker's gang should have been.
Yeah. I think that legitimately would be the way Burton would see it, to be honest. Because he wanted to go all out the first time round, but he probably couldn't really get away with a lot of things.
Yeah.
But we'll note as well, though, this whole business of the giant present, it could be influenced by something in the comics. It should be a direct reference to the comic The Penguin Goes A-Huntin', which is Batman number 17 from June 1943, where the Penguin has a trap delivered to a party disguised as a giant red and green gift-wrapped present. So, looks pretty much like, although weirdly enough, the colors are swapped. It's like the main wrapping is the green and the ribbon is the red. But and then, of course, there's the whole skull mask business. It could have been influenced by Without Fear of Consequence, which is Batman 456 from November 1990. But I'd say probably coincidence, because in that, like, there is an attack, on Christmas shoppers on Christmas Eve by a bunch of criminals wearing skeleton masks. But this seems much more like, Tim Burton just wanted skeleton heads. That's his thing. Like,
he just wanted to do his shtick.
It's like one of the most famous characters he created is a guy who just has a skull for a head. Like, it's pretty much, this is in his wheelhouse.
He's literally a skeleton.
I will say, though, about the skeleton head guys, because we do get, at one point, there's a close-up. They kind of have, like, and you see, like, they got, like, nice little, little sort of swirly things, more Tim Burton-y stuff painted on the side of them. But you see into, like, the eye sockets, there's these little kind of wibbly balls. And there's, like, it doesn't look as if there's any space in the back. So it's like, how are they seeing? Like, how's this is clearly like like form over function, basically. It's just like, this looks really cool, but would never in any conceivable way work because they couldn't see out of the damn masks.
Are you suggesting that these aren't their actual heads?
Mind blown. I was convinced. I'm looking at it because they are really large. They are bigger than actual heads. I'm wondering if the eyes don't line up with the eyes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that there's some other place to see out of that we can't see. Like, it seems almost like the eyes could line up with the mouth.
Yeah, I was just checking that, and I was thinking you might be right. It might be the mouth.
It looks as if there's nothing back there. It's just completely black, but then they could have darkened that in post, maybe.
It does. But yeah, you could darken that in post. You could even, if you put a screen up, so when you shine a light in, it just comes back opaque. If it's tight enough, if it's the right kind of mesh.
Yeah. But so like, well, these guys, whatever it is, they're getting the job done because they're causing a right old kerfuffle around Gotham, the Gotham streets here.
Oh yes.
Yeah, especially for Selina, who we see now, because she gets amusingly caught up in the fleeing public, and she doesn't have a clue what's going on.
Everything she does in this moment, like everything she does with her body in this moment, is just brilliant.
Dude, this is the one. Dare I do it? Because Michelle Pfeiffer is so great in this movie. This is the one bit where I was like, bit overdone. Like when she's grabbing the side of her head and sort of like shaking, it's a bit kind of comically like.
For me, the bit that goes over the edge is the feet doing the little like pee-pee dance.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that. I think it fits the mood of the scene. It's very silly, but like at the same time, it's like unsettling, and I think that kind of acting works well with that balance.
Yeah. That just because everything else with her is just so top notch, though. It almost seems like the hands at the head were like, we specifically want her to have this piece of paper caught in her hair, so she has to put the hands up to the head. That's the reason that happened. And then like the little feet thing is a bit kind of like, I don't know, it seems a bit, I don't know, it's just a bit too silly. Like, whereas everything else she does is like so sort of like, even though it's a crazy, wacky, like borderline surrealist comic book movie at times, it sort of seems like you could totally buy the performance she's doing. But this one's just a bit, it's the 1 minute I thought like, I would have toned that down a little bit myself.
What it looks like for me is, it looks like for me like you're communicating something about the character, but in kind of a clunky way. Sort of how I read it is we're supposed to, because we've seen Selina now in her sort of natural home environment where it is quirky. She's got like her weird relationship with this cat. She's lonely, all this stuff. And they're still sort of leading into, who is this person? Oh, she's the kind of person who just freaks out when this happens. And I guess like he didn't trust, maybe perhaps as a director, that was like a moment where he did not trust his actress to be able to communicate I'm freaking out in a more subtle way.
Yeah. I think you're onto something there, because that doesn't seem like a choice an actor would make. I don't think.
Yeah, it seems like it's almost like a thing they would have done in like rehearsals, and it would have been like, all right, bigger.
Yeah.
And then they're like, are we doing the real take? No, that was the real take. And I was like,
Okay. So I've got a nice freeze frame on Skull Mask, and I'm fairly convinced that the eyes line up with the top of the mouth area.
Yeah.
Fairly convinced. Also, from what I understand, I was a little too young for it. From what I understand, this bit here was a moment in the trail. It was like a standout moment from the trailers.
Oh yeah. Oh, this whole riot scene was like, when it came out, I remember, particularly there's minutes next week, which were like, this is the scene you're going to see. Like, no matter what, like it would be like, oh, here's coming out this Friday is Batman Returns. We have an interview with Michael Keaton, but here's a clip from the movie first, and it would have been something from around this scene. Always like, it's like, don't show them too much later on, but show them the freaky riot bit. That's people love that. They loved it from the last movie.
All about the freaky riots.
But we do get another. We got a burst of clowns coming out, and then a brief shot of this guy, who I thought was like the most impressive, kind of looking beyond the big skull spike guys. This fella, I think I got slightly confused because in the script they do have a character called the ringleader who is not present, but this kind of looks like he would be a circus ringleader, but he's one of the guys who's on stilts. So it's like,
yes, I love the stilts.
But I was trying to figure out who this guy was, and there's nothing really on him in the Red Triangle wiki that they do have. But I've noted in the Batman Returns credits on IMDb, there's some guy called Sver Holmbakken apparently plays two characters who I'm assuming are part of the Red Triangle Gang, and one of them is called Skumplepetter, and
Whoa, I love it.
and the other guy's called Mr. Peter McFrightening. And so
Yes.
I'm kind of guessing he's one of them, because
I feel like he's a Peter McFrightening.
I was actually researching though. It's like Skumplepetter, because it seems like that must be like a German, like a folklore name or something, like the Skumple.
It sounds it.
But
Yeah.
I googled it, couldn't
Somebody
find.
that comes and eats children at night.
Or like he pets your skull until you're dead. But I couldn't find anything on him. So people out there though,
You'll be dead.
who have
Sorry, I just had to do that.
any sort of expertise in folklore in Europe, who want to write into us and say like, Skumplepetter is supposed to be based on something or other, let us know, because I couldn't find out anything about it.
Well, now, we're not allowed access to information from Europe anymore. Brexit.
Oh, that's it. This is it.
We've been
That's why.
blocked.
Consider how much better this show would have been if Brexit didn't happen. Like, it's affected us in so many ways already.
We don't get any downloads anymore.
But then, yeah, as John alluded to there earlier, and I took a minute to catch on to, we get the debut of the organ grinder.
What a name. It sounds like both a horror movie and a porn actor.
Oh, it does actually sound. There must have been like a
Organ grinder?
But there must have been like an organ grinder, like a straight to VHS 90s slasher, because they had like ones like friggin' like the Mangler and stuff like that, like the Dentist. The organ grinder is like it's a no-brainer. There should, I'm not researching it, but I'm hoping there is, because there should be.
I agree. There absolutely 100% should be.
I'll be honest though, I didn't realize that was his name. So when I read that was his name, even knowing this character and loving him all my life, I didn't sort of think that thing he's holding there is a hand cranked street organ, as it's called. So I was like, what? It sounds like a killer, like the organ grinder. I didn't equate the two things. It was weird.
There is the first search that comes up for the organ grinder is a pizza restaurant in Oregon that closed in 1996.
They're called the organ grinder.
Called the organ grinder.
Oh my! No wonder it closed.
There was a 1933 movie about an actual organ grinder and his monkey.
No.
So,
But
How the hell did we miss that now?
But I did do some research though on organ grinders in general, and it was like I didn't realize though that they're regarded as people of like ill repute. Like people hate organ grinders. They hated organ grinders anyway.
Well, I think it's because they're equated to like, again, I'm not perpetuating this, but to like traveling folk and things like that. And I think there's a lot of prejudice there.
What's it like? Because I've got here from the incredibly sort of insightful Wikipedia. They have period literature often represents the grinder as a gentleman of ill repute, or as an unfortunate representative of the lower classes. Newspaper reporters would sometimes describe them cynically or jocularly as minor extortionists who were paid to keep silent, given the repetitious nature of the music. And then later on, they were sort of a bit more romanticized, but apparently they're like flat out like made illegal at some points, like
because it's annoying.
Yeah,
is that the general?
Pretty much.
gist?
Yeah. Apparently the instruments were banned in New York in 1935 due to traffic congestion and the begging inherent of the profession. And then
well, this sounds like the people who like get on your subway train and then start playing music and then stop and then ask for your money.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so annoying. Luckily we don't get that here.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't. I mean,
no.
you're missing out on some stellar musical performances.
That's the thing. I wouldn't mind giving money. Like if it was really good, I would. But it's more the assumption that I'm gonna give money.
Yes.
Even
yes,
if it's bad.
absolutely.
That's what would annoy
But
me.
another thing they've got here is that they mentioned like about the traffic congestion, and then say like and organized crime's role in renting out the machines. So I was like, so did they get? Is it like a gangster thing, or like back in the day, it's like some guy is begging on the street. He's like, if you rent this organ grinder box from us, you get a cut of the money, we get a cut of the money. Is that what they're getting at, or
maybe they actually rented organ grinder boxes and turned them into Gatling guns, like we're about to see.
Yeah.
This is a documentary we are watching right now. This is an actual scene from New York City.
Gang violence.
Gangs of New York. This is what they were going for.
Oh man.
I do really love that he has a monkey as well. Any villain, any character who has a monkey, I'm into it.
Yeah. I mean, organ grinders are supposed to. He just wouldn't be a proper organ grinder if he did.
Well, I would argue he's not a proper organ grinder. You know, I mean, he is trying to murder people, but then again, it sounded like they were shady characters. So
I was just gonna say, like, he is either his goal was to turn off the lights on the Christmas tree, or he is the worst person ever at killing people with a Gatling gun. Like, he is monumentally bad at killing people with the Gatling gun, which is one of the easiest things to kill people with.
But a Gatling gun in an organ grinder? I don't know. That thing might be all over the place.
I'm not too sure exactly.
Well, that's the point. If it's all over the place, someone should be dead.
Anyone.
I'm not too sure if it is more like the Red Triangle Gang. Like, I know that their original plan was just to get Max Shrek. That's the whole reason for this. But, like, are they trying to kill people? Because I don't know if we ever see anyone dead. And it's like...
someone's definitely on fire in the next...
Oh, that is true.
Or
yeah.
one,
Yeah,
or two.
yeah.
Like, some human person is definitively on fire.
The thing is, like, there's... within the scene, there's like 2 people on fire, and one of them set on fire by Batman, which is like just causing more damage than anybody else, as per usual.
Yeah.
Plus, I think more than killing people. I mean, if they kill people, cool. From their point of view, can I just say? But I think, they just want to cause pandemonium at the moment.
Yeah.
If people die, that adds to the chaos. That's fine.
Yeah. But then, like, why whip out the whole gigantic gun to shoot up a Christmas tree? That just seems like overkill. Like, of all the things that are unnecessary in this scene, that one for me is overkill. Is like... Yeah.
In the best way, though.
Oh, absolutely. I would not change that for the world. That's a wonderful thing.
But no, I mean, if I was taking out the Christmas tree, I'd probably just Molotov cocktail it. Boom. There you go. It's on fire.
Right?
Done.
Maybe he's just like, he's proud of his shooting. I was like, I was getting the individual bulbs and everything, man. Like, not one bullet was wasted. Like, they all hit bulbs. That was like, I've been working on this for the whole damn year. Was like, I'm going to shoot a Christmas tree with a Gatling gun, and I'm not going to like hit any of the actual wood. I'm just going to hit the bulbs. And then afterwards, he's just like, "You guys, did you see? Did you see it? It was pretty cool, right?" And they're like, "I don't know why you're so obsessed with this, man. Like, come on."
Ooh.
But that, I mean, we can't pass over the organ grinder without talking about who he is, though.
Oh, the actor. Oh God, no, of course. We have lightly touched on him. We didn't go too in depth though, did we?
No. Well, again, because you have to stretch these things out. So it's like, yep, waiting for a minute where he actually showed up was like, now we can talk about him. Vincent Chiavelli, like one of the most sort of renowned, it's that guy, actors from
Also known as a character actor. Yes. His that's fun. That's cute. Even in his wiki, he is often described as the man with the sad eyes.
Aww. Oh, bless.
Collective.
That's cute.
He doesn't have the sad eye thing going on in this role. He really does not.
That's the weird thing in this is like, because it's Vincent Chiavelli, but if you know Vincent Chiavelli from other stuff, I don't know if you'd instantly recognize him because
I agree. You'd see him and be like, I know this guy, but not necessarily from where.
Because I always associate him with like the eyes and then the kind of the dome head, and then now he's got the hat on and the beard. It's just like, this could be anybody. And then you tell me it's Vincent Chiavelli. He's like, oh yeah, so it is. Yeah. But...
Oh, totally. But yeah, very different from his usual look. A nice change, a nice change of pace. Like, it's good. You don't want to just be the sad guy all the time. Yeah. Sometimes you want to be the psychotic murderous guy.
Yes, and he does it so well.
People will recognize him from like loads and loads and loads and loads of stuff. Oh
yeah,
he was in
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is probably the big one, the biggest one for me.
Yeah, or the did a lot of ones like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He was in the movie and the ill-fated TV show. Yeah. He was in Ghost. Yeah, of course. Episode of Buffy. He was in that as well.
In Buffy, is he the gypsy guy?
Yeah.
He's involved in Angel's Curse, isn't he?
That's right. Yeah, I think so. It's either that or he's something to do with Tara. I don't know. I couldn't actually check which episode he's in, but I kind of have a memory of Vincent Chiavelli been in the show. But yeah, he's one of the ones though in this very sort of weird incestuous kind of clique that came out of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest because obviously was in that, was also got, Jack Nicholson, who was in, friggin' the first movie. Also stars Danny DeVito. And then he go on to work with DeVito again in Death to Smoochie. And he also, and of course, Man on the Moon. Man on the Moon's very appropriate because, of course, as the biopic of Andy Kaufman. Of course, that stars, Danny DeVito as well, and Jim Carrey, who go on to play the Riddler.
The Riddler.
And of course, it's all about Andy Kaufman was in Taxi, and Taxi is, the show that kind of made Danny DeVito. And I actually remember, because I looked up the episode in that, because it's like I very excitedly found out that all Taxi's on YouTube now. So I was like, oh my God. And it's quite notable, because he's the priest who marries Lerczak, like Andy Kaufman's character, and Simca, who is played by Carol Kane, who we covered earlier, plays the Penguin's mum in Gotham now. And that's kind of a nice one. But he was also... I just kind of always noticed, because that's Latka's second wedding in the show. Because I remember he's married early on, like in season 1 or 2 or something, because it's Christopher Lloyd who marries him. It's like the first big thing you will see in Christopher Lloyd, and they introduce Reverend Jim, his character, who becomes like a series regular because he's just that good in that one episode. And he was the first person to marry Lerczak off in that. But yeah,
how many damn marriages?
But then, of course, beyond that, he also worked with Michael Keaton in a couple of things as well. He's in Night Shift with him, which is actually kind of a weirdly disappointing movie, because it's like, I remember watching it, and it has like the greatest in theory plotline ever, where it's like two morgue attendants decide to open a brothel in the morgue, and it's him and Henry Winkler. It's like, oh, it's gonna be crazy, wacky times, and it's Ron Howard directing. How can it go wrong? And et cetera, et cetera. And you watch it, and it's like, nah, it wasn't that good. Weirdly enough, which is a bit tragic. But yeah, then he's also in Johnny Dangerously, which of course stars Michael Keaton and Danny DeVito. So
bloody hell, everything's connected here. This is a record.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He also did. Maybe he's got a knack for like starring in movies that sound that they're going to be way better than they actually are. Because he's in. And I'm going to step on people's toes here, because I know it's even got a Movies by Minutes dedicated to it. But he's in The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, which is a movie on paper. It sounds like it's going to be the greatest thing in the history of the world. It sounds so awesome. And you watch it, and it's so boring. And it's just like so unimpressive, except for the fact that every person in it is like, oh, that's a really cool actor. And it's like, oh, it's got a good soundtrack. And then the rest of it's like, oh, how long is this? What do you mean? It's like, it's unbearable.
Yeah, I'd recommend you listen to the podcast rather than watch the film, to be honest.
Yeah. Of course, he plays John O'Connor in that as well, apparently. So close to John Connor, I guess.
Close enough.
So close.
Yeah, and then you got John Connor, hunted by the Terminator, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was Mr. Freeze.
Jesus. Well,
it never stops.
The organ grinder character is actually, he was the sixth boss in the Super Nintendo adaptation of this movie. And his monkey was also in it, but he only spectated. So you couldn't fight the monkey.
No that's a missed opportunity.
It is, isn't it? Like the monkey could trip you up or something. That'd be fun. Like trying to combat this little monkey running around. It'd be good.
That'd be like... It'd be like Homer versus the organ grinder monkey. The whole plays the one-man band, and then just like, hey, you crazy kid, you're stealing away all of my customers. Shut up, Giuseppe. Hey, Luigi, go for the face. And just like jumps on him. And Homer like lying on the floor still playing the song with the monkey staring at his face.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that.
That'd be awesome. That was like a level of Batman just getting mauled by this monkey. And then the organ grinder still standing there playing music and stuff.
After that, then we get... Well, he massacres the tree, as we said, and then we get another gang member who I particularly liked. He's called the Tattooed Strongman, which isn't a very imaginative name. But he bashes the hell out of Santa, which is just upsetting for all concerned.
Oh, yes.
But
I do want to... Can I just cut into backtrack really quickly for just one moment? This is it. Just that scene right before the organ grinder shoots up the tree with Chip and Mr. Shrek standing next to each other, and just how spot on similar their eyes look in that one shot.
Yes, it's
just
great.
Like, wow, they did a good job with their casting here. That's all. I just felt the need to comment on that.
No,
it needs to be said. It does.
Yeah.
Tim Burton.
Anyway.
If Tim Burton's listening, he'll be like, yes, This is the stuff I don't want people speculating on, like, oh, was them kicking over the hot dog stand, mocking Mayor Borg because he liked hot dogs. Like, I want people to say how nice the little details I did were.
Yes.
Well, the circus strongman guy in the script, he was supposed to use a Batman merchandise sled to assault people, right? Which is weird, very strange.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
And aside from that, Batman also in the script saw him chasing after Alfred and a young girl carrying this sled, and he was going to beat them with it. but Batman throws a bat disc, shoots it from the Batmobile, and that solves that. But it's very strange. There's like a whole theme in the script and the early drafts, especially, about merchandise of Batman and about how he's become a big thing. It's like blown out of proportion. It's spread like into realms it shouldn't have.
It's kind of like what they end up doing in like the Fantastic Four movie. It's like, oh, you can get toys of the Fantastic Four and stuff now, which is an interesting thing that I don't know if many superhero movies ever touch on. That the idea that these big larger than life figures would become sort of weirdly like merchandisable iconic people within culture. You would try to capitalize on them and stuff.
It makes sense. I mean, that's the kind of thing that would happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it feels like they edged it towards that idea in the Avengers because they've built such a large and complex universe that the way people react to the Avengers and how they're known is very much like that. So yeah, it does seem weird that you don't. It would be really interesting for someone to sort of take on that as a moral concept too.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be fantastic, and it must be coming soon. Someone must be working on a story about this. Come on.
The other thing I can really think of is I know in the Batman animated series there's an episode, I think it's the one I've got Batman in my basement, and I always noted that someone's got a poster of the Joker on the wall, like I think it's in the basement wall. They just got like, much like back in the day, people used to be able to buy posters of Charlie Manson and stuff. Like he was kind of like a weird counterculture hero. Even though people were like, this guy's like a vicious psychopath and stuff. He's not anyone you want to be emulating. But I was wondering if that's like a little nod to that. Like, if you can get posters of people like that, then I guess in Gotham, someone would be like, you can get a poster of the Joker, and it's just like a picture of his face and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
That'd be a cool storyline. Someone like emulating the Joker.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that as the main villain. That'd be repetitive. But that's a little
See,
side
that's
thing.
what they should have done after Heath Ledger died. They should have been like, we'll just have a Joker emulator. It's fine. We've created this great character.
Yeah.
You think I've been too soon? Too soon?
I like that.
Yeah.
People might complain, you can't replace it, but they'll get over it.
Well, that's what you could have done with Harley Quinn, though. You could have had, instead of having them be like, oh, they're a loving couple, you could have had her pop up as like, this is a woman who's obsessed with the Joker, the figure he became in Gotham after the events of the Dark Knight, and she's like, now he's locked away or whatever you want to say happened to him. Like, I'm gonna try to copy this guy, and she could be the main villain, or she could just be like a kind of like almost like echoing at the start of the Dark Knight. You have those guys dressed up as Batman. At the start of the third movie, is somebody dressed up as the Joker going around doing kind of copying his stuff. Like, could have been interesting.
That would be so good. That'd be so much better than the third one.
Think of how much better Dark Knight Rises, and how much better use that would have been for Tom Hardy's talents. Let's not make Tom Hardy Bane. Anyone can be Bane. That's easy. Let's have made Tom Hardy the Joker emulate, the new Joker.
Oh my god, that'd be different.
Right.
Oh whoa, yeah, because he doesn't have to. You don't have to cast someone who looks like the previous Joker. Like
no, not at all.
If anything, don't do that.
Exactly.
Like Tom Hardy's only question was just like, I've developed a voice, and I want to know if I can still use that. Okay, like just do whatever voice you want.
That's all he does. Is like whatever hell voice he's thought up that day.
I was like, yes, I'm the Joker now. I still do wonder, like on set, there must have been a lot of people just like, what's happening? Why is he talking like that?
Is he going to stop?
It's like, should we say something? Because I know.
I bet he never did too. I bet that was like, cut, or how was that take?
I was like, I think we didn't say anything about that Batman voice, but I think we might have to speak up with this one.
Maybe he just turned up to set speaking that way, so nobody questioned it. Like he pretended that's how he talks. Like, hello, I'm here for the shoot.
We've never met Tom Hardy in person before. This seems fine.
Yeah. He's just always doing, he's always in another role. That's why he's got a different voice in his other movies.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's logical.
Well, this, from one strong man back to the tattooed one, he also is in the Super Nintendo game. He's the second boss.
Oh.
Yeah, and you can see him in the second level reading a newspaper and tapping his foot. And then as Batman, once you beat all the enemies, he rips the paper and starts attacking you.
Oh, man. Waste of a good paper as well. Someone else could have read that. What the hell? You wouldn't consider an asshole?
He don't care. He's a tattooed strong man. He's rebellious.
Oh, yeah. He got those when he was 16.
Yeah.
But of course, yeah, he throws, again, very sort of ineffectual, though, because he kind of hits that Santa, and then he throws the sled at a car. It doesn't even go through, like, the window or anything. It just sort of...
Right? Like, I was really disappointed at how little property damage was done.
It's like, we gotta use this set the whole movie, you know? We can't just go wrecking the whole thing.
Yeah, we can't just break everything. Yeah, that was a little disappointing, though.
Yeah. But, of course, inside that very police car is Gotham's finest. And the Commissioner Gordon's first time we see him this movie. I think he's got like one other scene after this, and that's pretty much. Oh no, he does pop up a couple of times. It's such a blink and you'll miss him character in this movie.
Right. Sometimes doesn't even have any lines. Like, he's just there because he's supposed to be. Like.
I think that is literally it. Like, Tim Burton was told, like, he's got to be in it. Really? Okay, fine.
Yeah. But here he's just doing what Gordon does best. Is like he's calling someone else to call someone else to do something for him. And the thing is that you compare him to like in The Dark Knight when we saw like Gary Oldman's Gordon. What was he doing when there was a big riot going on? Like in that big car chase, you find out at the end the guy who was driving the police truck was Commissioner Gordon the whole time. He was in the middle of the action. So when like Nicky Cat was sitting next to him doing like, is that a bazooka and all that stuff, Gordon was keeping it calm, just doing the whole thing, making sure that everyone was okay at the end. He's the guy, when Batman's knocked out, he comes up, he gets the Joker. And in this, Gordon is just sitting on his ass. Because it's like, oh, what are you waiting for? The signal.
Well, you'll have to stay tuned if you want to see if he actually does anything at all.
Spoiler. Nah.
Well, he does have a really awkward moment in Batman Forever, which is delightful. But
Yeah. At least that's something.
yeah, it's something. It just kind of makes him look more bumbling and ridiculous, but
I'll take that.
It's like a thing.
But to be fair though, in the first movie, like we were hard on him, but at least he was doing something. Like he was doing the whole like I'm in charge here, not Carl Grissom, and all that stuff. This is just like no, this is a man like every day is like I got like 2 weeks left of retirement. As long as like there's no penguin action. And there's no one else becomes like a megalomaniac genius guy who's obsessed with riddles, and someone isn't trying to freeze the city in the next 2 weeks, I'll be fine. And then, unfortunately for this Gordon, that does happen. But
Sucky few weeks.
He's gonna buy the speedboat that all retired people. No, you're issued one, I believe. You don't even pay for it. You just get it when you retire, right?
Is that what retiring means?
Yeah. You get a speedboat docked in Miami. And you just relax.
Sounds good.
Oh, I always thought it was a gold watch, but like...
Anyway, we get a shot. Mm-hmm. Our first shot of the movie, in fact, is it not?
Yeah.
Of Wayne Manor.
Wayne Manor. Suddenly a model.
I was going to bring this up next minute, but you've hinted at it there. You've hinted at it. It is a model this time. Unfortunately, it's no longer Nebworth House.
Yeah, tragically.
Oh.
Guess we're just like, I can't be bothered going all the way. The people out there were very weird. We didn't like working with them, so just make a model instead. It's like my kids got this really cool like dollhouse. We can just use that.
It does look slightly different. I think you can
You
tell
can
there's something
spot
off
it.
about the shot.
Yeah.
In a great way. I love the model work. Don't get me wrong. It looks fantastic in this shot.
Yeah.
But it just it's missing something.
Yeah, but I guess like Tim Burton's got a thing like model houses in Beetlejuice. Maybe he's just like I just want to return to get a model house in somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like it should have like shrub, some sort of landscaping like around the edge of the house. That's because it feels just sort of stuck on top there. Like no house just sits there. Everything has like something landscaped up alongside it so that it just doesn't look so barren like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'd think like this Bruce is obviously a bit more of a recluse, but even with that in mind, you'd think Alfred would be like, well, I'm going to make the outside of this look semi-sane.
Right?
He looks after him, you know, so you think he'd be there, or he'd at least hire a gardener to sort this out.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like that's Alfred's job. Like that's his whole thing is he takes care of Bruce and the house. So
yeah,
shirking on your duties, old man.
Yeah.
How dare you?
But
Must never speak it.
But that's me for that's all notes I've got for this minute though. Unless do you guys have anything else you want to talk about in this particular minute?
No, I'm all tapped out for this one.
Covered it fairly thoroughly.
No.
Well, before we head off into the dark night, Jessi, would you like to tell our listeners where they can find you and your fantastic work online?
Oh, absolutely. You can check me out at Mindless Entertainment on YouTube, where I yell about all sorts of things. And you can follow me on the Instagram also at Mindless Entertainment or on Twitter as Jessi Milestone.
Hey, make sure to do that, everyone. Oh.
My hair has a Twitter account now, too. I have nothing to do with that one, but you can follow Jessi Milestone's hair as well if you want.
I saw that yesterday, strangely. I hadn't seen that before, and I was like, what the hell?
Yep. I have no idea who made that or where it came from, but
I love it,
my
though.
hair as well. It's good.
Yeah, make sure you follow both. Don't follow one or the other. Follow both.
Absolutely.
And follow us everywhere if you don't already, because that'd be weird if you didn't. If you've got this far and you don't. But we're on Facebook at the Bat Minute Listeners Cave, and we're on Twitter at Bat Minute, and we're on Instagram as well, which is still at Bat Minute 89 on there because we can't change it to Bat Minute. Someone's stolen it, I think. And one other bit of good news here now. We have another review.
Oh.
Yes, I won't read it again, you know, anonymity and that, but it's from, oh God, how do I say this? I think it's Coop Girl Kiz, or it could be Co-op Girl Kiz, I don't know. But thank you very much. Apparently we are thoughtful and delightful, so there you go.
No, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for the 5 stars. Everyone else give us 5, 5, 5. Just make fake accounts. No, don't really. Use your real account and give us 5. It'd be very nice. It'll be nice, and I'll love you, and I'll send you a video or something. I don't know. not a sexy video.
Like,
I mean,
it's like, what kind of video are you talking about here?
Yeah, you've got to pay for my private Snapchat for the sexy videos. They come for a premium. But other than that, yes, join us again on Wednesday because we will be back for more Bat Minute returns. We will have minute 14 of Batman. See you then.
Next time, calling all keeps. As the Yuletide illumination goes to shit, a beacon gets lit, 'cause the streets are taking a hit. But will a city in pain, due to danger in its drains, signal the return of one Bruce Wayne? Find out Wednesday, same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.